Hey guys, Lynn here, and today I'll be bringing you a video on the Legion changes to Retribution Paladins. Now, Blizzard went over yesterday the changes incoming to the Ret Paladins, and what they wanted to do is they wanted to make several tweaks in order to focus Ret on short-range combat, because right now, and I'd say the last expansion too, we felt more of like kind of a caster melee, especially now with Final Verdict, the range on Final Verdict, and I don't know about you guys, but I played in Cataclysm, and Templar's Verdict used to feel so freaking strong. It used to feel like a real finisher, and that's what Blizzard is going to try and do again in this expansion. So basically, we are getting a new ability called Blade of Justice, and what this does is what I believe it's doing is it's probably replacing Exorcism. Exorcism 30-yard range. They're trying to get away from the range attacks on paladins. It's gonna have a 12-yard range. It's gonna be instant, and it's gonna be a melee attack that strikes an enemy, and it deals strong holy damage, which will be affected by our mastery, and it generates 2 holy power. Now, it's a little different from our Crusader Strike currently, which has a 4.5-second cooldown, and it will deal physical damage but still be affected by our mastery. Now, there's going to be a passive called Conviction, which will cause our Crusader Strike and Blade of Justice to have a 20% chance to generate an additional holy power. And as you all know, we are Ret Paladins, and we can never get away from the RNG. I mean, it's kind of a given. If you're going to play our class, you have to accept that there is going to be plenty of RNG involved in it. Back in the day, it used to be Divine Purpose when that was baseline. I actually love that ability. But on to the next change. The next significant change is Judgment. Now, Judgment is going to have a 12-second cooldown, but it's going to basically be a Colossal Smash. It's not going to generate a holy power anymore, but it's going to increase the damage done by your Blade of Justice, your Crusader Strike, and your Templar's Verdict and Divine Storm on a target by 30%. Now, that's huge. We're going to be able to do huge swaps in damage now. We're going to be able to pull Holy Power and wait for a Judgment. There's just going to be a ton of different ways you can play with this rotation. Now, they altered Templar's Verdict a little bit. It looks like it's going to increase its damage by a lot, plus it's going to have the holy portion of Final Verdict and still be affected by our mastery. Another thing is, one of the first panels they showed at BlizzCon was Ashbringer. It was actually at Gamescom they showed Ashbringer, and one of the effects was Ashbringer will mimic your Templar's Verdict after 2 seconds. So basically, whenever your Templar's Verdict, it's going to hit twice, because you're going to have your original attack plus your mastery, and then 2 more times. Maybe only 3 times, depending on if the Ashbringer attack will be affected by the mastery or not. The next important change that they are, at least so far, announcing is Ret's Gap Closer. Ret's going to get a Gap Closer talent similar to Heroic Leap. It's called Lothir's Might. It's on a 30-second cooldown, and it's essentially Tyrael's ability from Heroes of the Storm, if anyone's played that game. There are a number of other changes that I want to go over. I'll link some pictures down in the description. My guess is all of our 100 talents are wiped out. Seraphim isn't going to exist for Prot, and my guess is either getting a rework or it's just being scrapped entirely. I can tell you right now, Empowered Seals is definitely getting a rework or scrapped entirely, because seals don't exist in the next expansion the way that they do now. Currently, the only seal that Ret has been shown to have is Seal of Justice, and I'll link that picture down in the description. And lastly, Final Verdict, I can tell you right now, is getting a boot, because they're adding the holy portion of its damage to Templar's Verdict, and they want to take away from the ranged ability of Ret Paladins, focus them more on the melee. So, for now, that is all the changes coming to Ret Paladins that I can tell you for sure that are happening. There are a few things I wanted to speculate about, but I'll save that for another video when the next wave of information is released. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.